Let's talk Week 4 sleepers and two-start pitchers up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. Today is Saturday, April 15th. I am Frank Sample, and I'm all alone. No Scott White here today, but fear not, because I do have all of Scott's picks for next week, a lot of his sleepers and two-star pitchers. Let's quickly start off with the Week 4 schedule. We've got 12 teams with 7 games, 16 teams with 6 games, and 2 unlucky teams that only have 5 games next week. Those are the Orioles and the Washington Nationals. Let's get things started with two-star pitchers on the fringe. Do we want to start these guys next week? Hayden Wesneski, Jekyll and Hyde matchups, the Oakland A's and the Dodgers. That's going to be a no for me. Maybe you could get away with it in a points league, but in category leagues right now, as bad as Wesneski has looked, maybe he comes out and does well against the Oakland A's, but that start against the Dodgers, I could see that going really poorly, so I would stay away there. We've got 2 Mets pitchers, David Peterson and Tylor Megill, going up against the Dodgers and the Giants. This is another situation where in category leagues, probably not. Tylor Megill has pitched better than David Peterson. I think there's a higher floor with him, and obviously pitches for a good team with the Mets. So if you want to lean one in a categories league, I guess it would be Megill for me. Not 100% confidence on that. In a points league, I'm okay with both. I don't really love either one. Kyle Freeland is the last name here, going up against the Pirates. That game is in Coors Field and at the Phillies. Deeper points league only. I know Freeland has looked good, but one of these starts in Coors Field, the Pirates, even without O'Neal Cruz, they've been a pesky lineup so far. And then at the Phillies there too, it's a tough ballpark to pitch in. So I would probably stay away from Kyle Freeland for the most part. Two-star pitchers to add and stream. Again, these come according to our very own Scott White. Eduardo Rodriguez going up against the Guardians and at the Orioles. Drey Jameson at the Cardinals and at home against the Padres. Bailey Falter at the White Sox and home against the Rockies. And then Alex Wood at the Marlins and going up against the New York Mets. I think the 2 names that really stand out to me here, Drey Jameson, we know that he had some prospect pedigree back in the rotation. His first start with the Diamondbacks, he looked very good. He went 4 shutout in that one. He was limited to just 56 pitches, I think it was, just over 50 pitches. And I think he's going to get stretched out a little bit more. Probably get him closer to 70 in that first start, and then hopefully he's up around 80 in that second start next week. Tough matchups, but not really great 2-star pitchers for next week. So if you are chasing it, I do think Drey Jameson has some upside. The other name I'm looking at is Alex Wood. He's been okay so far at the Marlins. Absolutely love that start. And then home against the New York Mets. That one admittedly is a little bit tougher, but at least it's in San Francisco, so it's a bigger ballpark. Alex Wood, more of a points league play, but if you are just chasing the volume, I do like him and Drey Jameson from that group. 1-star pitchers that you can stream for next week, and frankly, I really like all of these. Sean Manaea at the Miami Marlins. Velocity has been up for him. Let's do it. Andrew Heaney coming off a 10 strikeout performance. He's going up against the Houston Astros this weekend, but next week, he gets the Oakland A's, so that's a very good matchup. Justin Steele, also at the Oakland A's. Mitch Keller has pitched very well. He gets the Cincinnati Reds in Pittsburgh, so away from Great American Ballpark. Kyle Gibson, if you picked him up for 2 starts this week, you might want to hold on to him because he gets the Detroit Tigers next week. I think it's more of a deep league play. Same thing could be said for Martin Perez at the Kansas City Royals. Let's talk about some hitters, the best hitter matchups for Week 4. The Twins, the Rangers, the Angels, the Tigers, and the Brewers. The worst hitter matchups, the Nationals, the Rays, the Royals, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. Let's take a look at some of the hitters that Scott's likes from this group. And it includes Rowdy Tellez, Logan O'Hoppe, Josh Young, Jake Fraley, and Edouard Julien. And I'm going to stop right there because Julien was leading off on Thursday against the Yankees, and he had an awesome game. He went 2 for 4. Both of his 2 hits, they were his first career hits. They came in the same inning as the Twins put up a 9 spot against the Yankees in that first inning. And I love the fact that Julien was leading off. He had 3 hard hit balls in that game. This is a legit, top 100 prospect. Great eye at the plate. He's got some power. He's got some speed. I think you want to add him regardless, but definitely for next week because the matchups do look really good. And then the last 5 that we're looking at, Joey Wiemer, Josh Rojas, Brandon Marsh, Trevor Larnach, and Kerry Carpenter if you're playing in deeper leagues. I like what we've seen from Joey Wiemer so far. I know he hasn't put up great numbers yet, but he's had some good at-bats. He's battling. I've seen him get some deeper counts against some well-established pitchers so far. He's batting towards the bottom of the lineup, but does have some power and speed. And of course, the Brewers do have the 5th best matchups, according to Scott. And Brandon Marsh is someone else I'd like to highlight. He's got 7 games next week, and it looks like 6 of those will be righties on the schedule. So Brandon Marsh has looked really good so far. He's cut down on the strikeouts, and we know that he's playing against right-handed pitching. And frankly, I've been pretty impressed. So I do think Brandon Marsh is a name in 5 outfielder leagues that you could look at for next week. With that being said, let's wrap up there. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Audacy app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we'll be back again next week. Bye-bye.